So I'm Catherine Graham. I'm an associate professor in the Theatre and Film Studies program at the undergraduate level in the School of the Arts. And I also work with the Gender Studies and Feminist Research program at the graduate level, at the MA level. I think the area of interest I really have in research right now is the whole problem of why less and less people are participating in public life, whether that's elections or, probably more importantly, in public problem solving in ways other than perhaps just making a comment on social media, which of course a lot of people do. I think the concern is what voices get heard in public life. This is a concern that feminist researchers have had for a long, long time. And I think this is really coming to a head because, as people like political philosopher Salah Ben-Habib has pointed out, if we can't construct a solid public life in a democracy, we'll lose democracy itself. That it will become impossible to govern societies by anything but authoritarian means, which I think is not something any of us want to see happen. But the real question here is, why don't some voices get heard? Why do people simply give up on being heard in the public sphere? And I think a lot of performance work, feminist performance work and queer performance work, has been looking at that quite intensively for the last 10 or 15 years. And I'm very interested in this performative approach to the question, which is asking us to look at not what do people say or how do we account for how resources were distributed, but is saying what happens in interactions between people that means that some people are simply not listened to when they try to speak out about things that concern them. You know, people like communications and political theorist Nancy Fraser, for instance, have pointed out that one of the things that happens is certain styles of social being, certain styles of intervention actually discount what people have to say. We simply don't listen to them because they don't intervene in the ways we expect, or often things that are seen as feminized are considered less important. We can't deal with that till we get to the important stuff. And what she actually suggested was that to deal with this, we actually have to make that part of the theme of our discussion. We have to expose it and discuss it overtly. And I think performance has proved to be a very interesting way to be able to do that, to be able to surface all these social habits of interaction that means some people are expected to be deferential to other people. And many of those, I think, are things that we ourselves are not conscious of doing. So I've been working a lot with performance practices and with performance theory, trying to analyze performance about what happens when people are not getting listened to, what is actually happening in that social interaction so that people are not getting listened to. The GSFR program has been a great place for me to do that work because it's such an interdisciplinary program, so I have the opportunity to work with other researchers from many different disciplines. And we've had some great guest speakers come in. We've had Sarah Ahmed coming in talking about emotion and affect, which I think is a really important part of this problem. Jose Munoz has been here talking about performance. We will actually be having Nancy Fraser in the winter term. So I'm really excited about the kind of work that it's possible to do through this combination of performance studies and feminist research, particularly in performance studies.